then we'll end with this to our next chapter. Are we better, or are we just different?
I think today's generation is lazy and doesn't know how to get out and communicate with each other,
Well,
and interact with each other.
All right, but just generally speaking, when you look at various ages, etc., etc., are we better per se, or are we just different? What's the real dividing line there, do you think?
And again, I think it boils down to interaction. If we learn how to interact and communicate with each other, I think we can learn how to be a better society.
But do we?
We don't try. Anytime someone offends you with a word that they said or something opposite of what you believe, we just instantly, I don't see you anymore. You don't exist. You're wiped off the face of the earth, and everyone who thinks like me will not see you anymore. And that's the wrong way to do things. We need to communicate. We need to talk. Otherwise, this Jacob and Laban wouldn't have worked out, because Jacob told him straight out, this is what I did for you. I lived with you. This is what you told me I can take, and now I'm taking it. Don't be angry. Don't be upset. I'm taking what you told me I was allowed to take. And now he's sitting there going, excuse me, no. I go back on my word. That's exactly what society is doing today. I go back on what I said to you. I may have told you yes, but I really, really meant no way in hell are you gonna leave and take my children and take my grandchildren and take my flock and walk away from me. That's really what I meant to tell you those 20 years ago, but he didn't. So Jacob was misled, and you can't fulfill a promise if you're misled. And Jacob is just showing him, you misled me, now it's time for me to go, and I've done everything you asked me to do. Time to cut the cord.
Okay, very good. Let us proceed to chapter 32. Jacob went on his way, and the angel of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's camp. So he called the name of the place Miriam. By the way, just a footnote. Many scholars, many people, I guess, when they hear the phrase, you know what, would you know, Christina, the angel of the Lord, who's that referring to? You have any idea?
I would think Jesus.
Very good. Wow, you're a Bible scholar.
Oh, thank you.
Now, I don't know if there's any proof. I've never seen the proof, but that's what they say. So. All right. Jacob went on his way, and the
We're
angel...
in 3.
I'm sorry?
3, and Jacob sent messengers before him.
I just want to start. Please, start over. Chapter 32. Jacob went on his way, and the angel of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is God's camp. So he called the name of the place Miriam. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, in the land of Shin, the country of Inaman, and instructed them, thus you shall say to my lord Isus, thus says your servant Jacob, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed until now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, male servants, female servants. I have sent to you, my Lord, in order
I have
that
sent to tell
I
my
have
Lord.
sent to tell my Lord in order that I may find favor in your sight. And the messenger returned to Jacob, saying, we came to your brother Esau, and he is coming to meet you. There are 400 men with him. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. He divided the people who were with him and the flocks and the herds and the camels into 2 camps, thinking if Esau comes to the one camp and attacks it, then the camp that is left will escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and the God of my father Isaac, O Lord, you said to me, return to your country and to your kindred, and that I may do you good. I am not worthy of in the least of all the deeds of steadfast love and all the faithfulness that you have shown to your servant, for with only my staff I crossed this Jordan, and now I have become 2 camps. Please deliver me from the hands of my brother and from the hand of Esau, for I fear him that I may come,
That he may
come and attack me, the mother with my children.
The mothers with the children.
The mothers with the children. But you said, I will surely do you good and make your offspring as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. So he stayed there that night, and from what he had with him, he took a present for his brother Esau. The two female goats.
200 female goats.
Wow, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 emu and 20 rams, 30 milking camels, and there's calves, 40 cows, and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. These he handed over to his servants. Ever drove by himself and said to his servants, pass on ahead of me and put a space between dove and dove, drove and dove. He instructed the first, when Esau, my brother, meet you and ask you, to whom do you belong? Where are you going? And who are these ahead of you? Then you shall say, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a present sent to my lord Esau. And moreover, he said, he is behind us. He likewise instructed the second and the third and all the followers of the drove. You shall say the same thing to Esau when you find him. And you shall say, moreover, your servant Jacob is behind us. For he thought, I may appease him with the present that goes ahead of me, and afterward I shall see his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So the present passed ahead of him, and he himself stayed that night in the camp. That's smart, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, when you have 400 men coming at you, you don't know what's gonna happen. So it's like, here, just give him a gift, maybe he'll be happier.
Yes, that's good. I like that. The same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 20 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jekylon. He took them and sent them across the stream, and everything else that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. And then he said, "Let me go, for the day has broken." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me."